All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blackwater Report. Today, we have a guest we've actually had on the show before, Kyle Connolly, who's here to speak with us. Now, she is running for school board district. Which district?
3 now.
District 3. District 3. And we'd like to ask her a couple questions about her campaign. So, Kyle, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me
Appreciate it.
again.
Of
I
course.
told you I wanted to catch up with you again.
Absolutely. We'll do this
Changed.
again before the final vote.
Sure.
So now, since you were here last, did you move?
No, I haven't moved.
You haven't moved. Okay. But
I switched districts that I'm campaigning for.
Okay. So the district you're campaigning for now is District
3, with Reese Navarre.
Okay, in Navarre. And who's running in that race?
That would be Carol Boston, the incumbent.
Okay. So now, since that changeover, what type of support have you seen coming from the community on this?
It's the outpouring of support has been pretty overwhelming, I would say. It was something that had been kind of in the works and in discussion for a little while. Just wanted to see how my opponent voted on teacher raises before the final decision was made, because, our school board, we need a full sweep, all 5 positions, to be perfectly honest. There are 2 of them that have done really well, but one of them is also up for re-election, so I feel like she's being a little bit more vocal. But the outpouring of support has been overwhelming. I will say a lot of the support is actually coming from the northern part of the county. I do feel like a lot of the school board stuff is focused up here in the northern part, and kind of like South Santa Rosa. I've heard this directly from parents, is that South Santa Rosa feels very underrepresented down there on the school board. And that's definitely something that I want to change. So the support has been overwhelming. I have been stopped. I've had comments on social media saying, we prayed for this. We're so happy. Our prayers are answered. And to me, that is a massive compliment that this option, everyone knew it was kind of an option. It was a possibility that I would even make the consideration, because that means if I am elected, I do have to relocate to District 3. So that means moving 3 kids.
Yeah.
Different schools, but big picture, I talked to everybody that's close to me, and I was like, am I crazy? And they were like, no, absolutely not. So there's so many life advantages personally and professionally to moving to Navarre. And I love South Santa Rosa. I love our beaches. So I'm good with it. But everyone's been great. Everyone's been very, very, very supportive.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I mean,
not one person has questioned why. Oh, no. One person was like, you're going to uproot in comments. And I was like, yeah, I am.
Yeah. It's not a huge, I would say that in the grand scheme, it's not a huge move. I mean, it's just down the road.
Yeah, we're going 20 miles, 15 miles down the road. I am in Gulf Breeze proper, so, it's not, if I run midway, it'd be like a 10-mile run.
Right.
But my kids, we've had conversations that we might be switching schools next year, and 2 of them actually were like, can we do it this summer and just start fresh next year?
Yeah.
But I do love the house that I live in. Location wise, it's right behind school. So I told them, I was like, we're just going to see how things go.
Yeah.
I don't want to get ahead of myself. But ultimately, I have no issues relocating at all. My kids are fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're committed to it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I am very committed to it.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a change, but I mean, for what it's worth. Right?
Not much. I mean, it really wouldn't be.
Right.
They'll be closer to their dad. And then for me professionally with my Turo business, I can now operate out of both airports, which financial advantage there. I'll have to hire an additional person to help me with the other airport, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Well, it sounds like you have a plan.
Oh, yeah, I do. It was thought out. It was very, very long thought out. Some people thought that because we had in District 5, we had a 4th person enter the race, and that's Jill Tetson and Teston. And that's not the case. That's absolutely not the case. This was already in the works for a while. I just was under the belief that I would have to relocate before to actually be a legal resident before I entered the race. And it's actually not true. You have to just have legal residence by the inauguration. Or by the time you're,
So this isn't a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah,
This was thought out.
this was very thought out. That's why I kind of got quiet for a little while.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Well, I'd imagine a little bit of planning.
Yes, for sure.
Needed for something like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. I mean, I think, well, you've had a lot of support. You had a lot of people who have reached out and said, hey, we know what you're doing. We understand the kind of the sacrifice, I would say, a little bit.
It's not a sacrifice.
Not even
for
a
it,
sacrifice.
No,
Yeah.
I don't consider it a sacrifice at all.
Yeah. This is just you going forward, and you see what you can do. You see what is helpful, and you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know a lot of viewers are interested in that because they
Yes.
probably have seen what's been going on, and they're like, okay, well, where's she going?
Yeah.
How is she getting there? Okay. Let's see here. So we have a few other questions. Now with the school board, there's been some things going on that we believe there's some folks who probably want to know your opinion on this, your thoughts on this.
Absolutely.
And this pertains to some votes that have happened, some votes that did pass, some votes that did not pass. Hey, Santa Rosa County, thanks for watching the Blackwater Report. This platform reaches thousands of local Santa Rosa County citizens just like you each week. And if you have a small business and would like to grow your local reach, expand your customer base, and get your brand in front of more people in the community, give us a call here at the Blackwater Report. We'd be glad to help. Now, back to the show. So recently a vote that did pass was regarding teachers' pay. Now, some on the board were all for it, which is why it got passed, and some on the board not so much for it. What are your thoughts?
I was obviously for it. Big picture, they were looking for reoccurring raises, so they didn't want this to just be a one-time raise and then just be back to the drawing board again with all the uncertainty. So the board did not want to have this reoccurring bill essentially on their budget every single year. They didn't want to make accommodations for it. They didn't want to look for it. Look for ways to cover these reoccurring raises. And it was 0.83% from the state and 1.17% from the school board. So for a total of 2% raise, which, I mean, honestly, it's a victory, but it's not the biggest victory.
Right.
That's really not enough to support them. And I have notes. Hold on. Let me I hate to do this because I wanted to like speak from the heart on this one, but my whole thought process in this and what I have heard from the community, especially our teachers and our staff, is that when there are budget constraints, of the first people that they go to take from are the teachers. And that should be the last resort, because the reason why we are an A+ school rated district is because of our teachers and because of our staff. And when you continually take from them and put more on their plate, that's when we're going to start seeing a shift where things are going to start getting missed. And they need to, the school board and the district need to look into other places where they can start pulling funds and reducing expenses. So right now we're facing declining enrollment, and I know that's one of your questions.
Yeah.
And they really need to be focusing on how to turn that around. And they need to focus on, we know that the numbers are going to continue to go down while we're in this shift, and they need to really just look at the big picture. Obviously, teachers make up, they say 80% of our budget. Don't go to the bulk of the budget. Start trimming the fat. Start looking at the other things that we're spending on that are completely unnecessary. And I have gone through the budget. I will look at the budget until my eyes are blurry and look at things and be like, why are we spending this?
Right.
Why do we have this program? Why do we have something that the health department would pay for? One of the line items is hepatitis B vaccines that we're paying for. I'm like, any citizen can go to the health department and get one for free. Why is that a budget line item? Granted, it's not that much. It's not a significant amount, but when you have those insignificant amounts, they add up to a big amount. And it's these little things that are on the budget that you're like, why are we doing that? Yeah, why? Yeah. Courier services. Like, there's just, so many little things. And I haven't gone through it, admittedly, probably in a month because teacher raises and then the ID cards were really a big focus. So, that's one of the things I want to do when I'm elected. Very first thing is I owe that big budget. I want to go through it. I want to look at every single thing.
Everything in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's needed.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that you probably could. I mean, once you go through the list, there's quite a few things on the list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's so many things. And we have to do a FOIA request now to ask why. Why do we spend money on this? Can I see the contract? All
Really?
right. Yes, you do.
Interesting.
As of July 1st, no more.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yes. So there was a House bill that did pass last week.
Yeah.
Now all of that information, all of those contracts, everything have to be readily available to the public, especially if they're being presented. That was one of the things that I wanted to change going onto the board, but the state took care of it for me. So thank you, DeSantis, for signing off on that. It's called the School Board Bill of Rights. So one of the things on there is that the transparency with the budget, with contracts, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all, they have to make it available.
I guess I didn't realize that you had to have a FOIA request in order to get that information. What was the purpose?
You can see the budget line item,
Yeah.
but you can't see the details of what was on any of it. Like they'll put out an RFP,
Yeah.
but the quotes, the bids will come back and it's just 3 line items. For example, there was one posted for Gulf Breeze High School's outfield. Why can't I think of them?
They're like record.
It's next to Dolphin Stadium, that building. Why can't I think of it? Anyway.
Field house.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. So it's to rehab the field house. It's been needed. So all you get to see is the 3 bids that came in.
Okay.
You don't get to see the details. You don't get to see the actual RFP and the breakdown of it. And you can just see the 3 vendors, what they came in at.
Okay.
And as somebody with a background in supply chain management,
Yeah.
you can negotiate portions of the contract. Voters could say, all right, look, we approve of this, but is this part really necessary? Those kind of things, all those need to be discussed and be out in the public.
I would think so.
And right now they're not. You have to request them. You have to do a FOIA request and jump through hoops. And it's tedious.
Sounds like a headache.
Yes, they just will kick it down the road. Kick the can down the road, hoping you go away.
Oh, wow. Well, after
July 1st.
July 1st,
Yes.
that won't be an issue.
It goes in. Yeah.
Good. That's a good point. What and you mentioned a second ago about some of the items that have come up, the cards, the pass cards.
Yeah.
Now that was a vote that recently happened that did not pass.
Yes.
It was cards for kindergarten,
Pre-kindergarten, 4-year-olds.
for 4-year-olds, all the way through your seniors.
Yes.
Who would have a pass card that would allow them, or it would basically track their on the bus, off the bus, into school, out of a class, the lunches. It was like a one.
So the initial rollout, was on and off the bus, and then for lunches. So their argument was that, and just to back up on the card readers, this is one thing that most of the public did not realize, is that the card readers, and I didn't know, I just knew that they were trying to implement these ideas. The kids are going to walk around with a lanyard around their neck with their photo, their name, their school on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we're going to pump the brakes on that one. But then when you start to dive into it, you find out that they've already invested over $500,000 in this program to put the readers, the card reader, and the tablets on the buses. Now, there are some very good arguments for that. Right now, they're supposed to be manually entering names as they come on and come off the bus. And there's also GPS navigation integrated with them, and it will reroute them. I think there are advantages to that, absolutely, especially with bus transfers, bus being down. There are some advantages there.
Yeah.
But what happens if, my kid shows up and doesn't tap in or doesn't have their badge reader? What happens if a friend lends it to a friend? Like, our bus driver's really sitting there monitoring, be like, hey, you're not Kenneth.
Right.
What are you doing here? Are they really going to look? So that's one part of it. So they already went ahead and they used the stop arm ticket funds to pay for that.
Okay.
Then in order to incorporate these readers in the lunchroom, they had to use their surplus from their contract, USDA contract or whatever. I can't talk.
Yeah.
So there's a surplus in funds with our food service contract. There we go. Got the words.
Okay.
And they have to spend those funds.
Yeah.
And this is how they plan to spend them, was on these ID cards. So that was how they were going to get the ID cards implemented. But if you paid attention, there was a reoccurring expense, but we don't want any more reoccurring expenses. So there was an annual reoccurring expense for the ID cards, for printing new cards at different steps throughout the process, paying for ink, paying for service, all that stuff.
Yeah.
On top of that, so they were starting at lunchrooms, but then they were like, oh, we're going to put them on the outside of every single classroom, every door. So now they got to tap in and tap out to every door.
Okay.
So that's kind of where it's like, it's a surveillance state. Like, here we are going in and out
Yeah.
of all of these programs, and kids with IEPs that got pulled out for speech, for what have you.
Testing stuff and all.
Well, I mean, it's more so the teachers that like the speech, they have to actually record all the time they spend with them. And I think that they were trying to utilize, I got the impression that they were trying to utilize these badge readers to eliminate that step.
Okay.
For reimbursement. And they did bring that up with the buses for the kids, like the CBSA kids that are being transported long distances so that they can get reimbursement from Medicaid. Apparently, they have not been keeping track of that. And that's a big reimbursement. And it's cumbersome. It's tedious.
Yeah.
Because it's handwritten. But with these logs,
Yeah.
we can just submit the logs. Well, you just told us you can manually enter their names. Why aren't we manually entering their names? And oh, by the way, you just told us that we've missed so many reimbursements from the government because of laziness.
Yeah. Yeah.
That wasn't a good look.
Not a good look.
But big picture with the ID badges is when you look into the companies. So the company that was going to issue and manage the ID badge just had a massive security breach in Los Angeles.
Okay.
With the Los Angeles County School District. Then beyond that, Tyler Technologies is the software that runs everything. They had a class action lawsuit settle in 2024, 2025 with a huge data breach on the federal level. So you can't protect on a county level. You got a federal leak.
Right.
And I'm talking like everything was out there. And with these ID cards, like parents' credit cards are going to be linked to tap to pay for lunches, all that other stuff. There's so many levels of security that
I didn't realize that.
no one wants to look into it. I mean, mishandling 90,000 students in LA and even considering this one company for an ID badge was just crazy to me. Especially because it was headline news. And on top of that, the Tyler Technologies going back and just finding this class action lawsuit where social security numbers were leaked, just everything.
Yeah.
And it was a huge failure. And Tyler Technologies. So I'm glad it didn't pass because big picture, also Tyler Technologies on their website, they do adhere with FERPA, which is they can't sell individual information. So they can't say that like Kyle Connolly is in 10th grade and these are her grades, whatever. They can't sell that, but they can on their website, they can sell pockets of data. So they could sell an age range. So we have third graders and here's how much time they're spending in the library or whatever, just things like that. So they can take that data of your student. So big picture. So we're talking 3 tiers up. We have this massive company that has the monopoly that can take your students' data.
Yeah.
Granted, no identifiers, no names, but they can take that data and they can suggest other ed tech to your school. So they're likely getting kickbacks on it if they recommend partners and all that other stuff. So that was,
So, well,
for me, that's where I was in Tyler Technologies. I'm not looking at surface level with the ID badges. I was going beyond to the final say, which is Tyler Technologies. I'm looking at their site and how they use our kids' data.
yeah.
So
It seems like I mean, why couldn't they just do what they were asked to do and that be it? I mean, I guess that would be my question is why would we look for a company that's going well beyond the scope of the contract? It was something like that. I get it, they're trying to make money, but that's why was paying to begin with.
services have a surplus. Why is there a surplus?
So I'm to
So-
assume every child gets free lunches there?
So, I mean, so what they're saying, the state says that an unpaid lunch balance is a bad debt. So that's why we can't use the surplus to pay that. But now we have schools that are debt collectors, and that's a whole nother thing. We won't get into that right now. But what we can use that surplus for is to make improvements to the kitchens. I am hearing constantly of rodents in kitchens. Gulf Breeze High School is getting a major overhaul, $2 million on their kitchen, which is great. Apparently, it's very long overdue, and and even with the stop arm situation, like those readers, they're already in place. They can take advantage of them now to start collecting that money from Medicaid for the students that we are transporting. But with the ID badges, it was a whole different animal. Like having, and also I will say they were trying to use it under the guise of reunification. How many students are actually riding the bus? How many students are buying lunch? So it doesn't make sense. So what's your reunification plan for the kids that are walkers or that are in the car line?
Yeah.
If that's 50% of your student, what's your plan?
Yeah.
How are you reunifying those kids with their parents in the event that we have to do something?
Right. Yeah.
There's already a plan in place. So now we've got two separate plans. Now we gotta, did you ride the bus today? Oh no, your mom dropped you off because you were late. So like, there's so many levels and layers that, I mean, without an true active drill, you're never gonna figure out where the failures are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just big picture. I'm all for safety.
Yeah.
I know parents love
Having
my kids on the bus, my kids off the bus.
Yeah.
But big picture is this. It was an absolute no for me. And I was very outspoken about it. I was posting about it on social media, informing people like, hey, Tyler Technologies has got a massive class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
Didn't get into the second one. Someone else did on the LA school district.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's just,
it was it got voted down. Well, I say voted down. It's lack of interest, I suppose. For what I seen. Okay. And I know that was a pretty big conversation recently for the school board. So
yeah, they continued it from the first round. They weren't ready to vote on it. And then when they brought it the second round, there were a lot of parent complaints. And I would like to say that Elizabeth Huey and Linda Sanborn both spoke up very, very well about it. Huey knows her numbers. Sanborn knows the people. And the complaints, she said, were equivalent to that of masks back in 2020. And she said, but not one person was in favor of these ID badges.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
I'm glad they listened.
good. I mean, that's what they're supposed to do, right? That's their
Don't even get me started.
position.
Listen, my kid can't even keep a pencil in his backpack. Like he loses his water bottle every day, and I'm like, it's in your backpack. Oh,
So you're giving a pre-K, kindergarten age child a pass card to hang on to.
yes.
I have kids. I know for a fact that those cards would be gone within the first 3 days.
Yeah.
Or
And big picture too, what they didn't mention, and this is the thing with these things that we pass. You have to really look at the future. With them talking about them being on the classroom, okay, I think it was either $235 or $250 per door reader. So how many doors do we have in a school? 80, 85? Then we have to hardwire them.
yeah.
Then we have to run electrical. So you have to look at the big picture of that big expense for them to continue to roll these things out. I mean, and then I will say they presented, I don't know if you saw, you were streaming it. So they presented the ID badge and it had a QR code. And I held my phone up and my phone immediately recognized that QR code and was trying to open a website. So think about all those class photos that are posted online, and these kids are all going to be wearing these ID badges. Granted, they said elementary school would not have a photo or a name on it, but it was going to have a QR code.
Yeah. So whoever.
Where's that and yeah, you didn't tell us where that QR code was going.
Right.
And then, I mean, they did say, well, somebody could figure out your focus password. That's not hacking. First off, that's somebody just stealing your password. That's not hacking. That's a terrible comparison. But yeah, all that stuff's easy to figure out.
Yeah.
It's very, very easy to
Yeah.
with the sequence.
Yeah.
So,
well, it turned out, I think, for the best.
Absolutely. It doesn't look like they're going to try and push it again. So now they got to spend the money on repairing kitchens.
That sounds like a worthwhile
I'm not upset about it.
expenditure there.
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of the other questions we have here, if you are voted into office, are there any specific items you'd like to address immediately?
Well, one of them, like I said, already got passed by the state. So that's not an issue for me to take a little bit off my plate. But the other one, it's not going to be as easy as just saying it out loud. So in the state of Florida, there are no rules that if you are placed on administrative leave, that it is required to be paid. That is a district level thing.
Okay.
So what I would like to see changed is that if you are accused and there's enough proof, the burden of proof is there, that you have had misconduct or inappropriate communications with students, that you are not on paid leave, that you are suspended without pay, pending investigation. Now, the really big picture here is obviously we have a teachers union. So there's going to have to be communication with them about that. And then also I want to look back at all of the files of anyone that's been accused and see how many have gotten off.
Yeah.
How many were unfounded and returned to work. And if there's even one of them, it might not be able to be something that goes through, but we just cannot, especially in this past year, how much all of this has come to light. And I have names in my inbox that I have not even pursued yet.
Yeah.
If they are accused, that they're under investigation, if they get, let's just say we have a PE teacher that does something inappropriate, and instead of terminating him because he's nearing the end of retirement, they just put him in another position. They basically stick him in maintenance and they're like, oh, hang out over here and then you're going to retire.
Yeah.
That's a no. That's still an issue.
Yeah.
And big picture. I'm very for supporting the kids, but there is an ongoing problem that I have seen in this district where a lot of people are getting away with things because they're nearing retirement and they're pushed into retirement. It happened in my kid's own elementary school twice.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
With an assistant principal and a principal.
Yeah.
So if you are jeopardizing the safety of children, if you are grooming them, if you are just with the children, just with the students, I mean, there's other things that you can get suspended for, right?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Or be under investigation for. If there's an arrest, obviously, recommendation for termination usually comes pretty quickly. Like the Gulf Breeze High School hospitality teacher, she was arrested. She was terminated without pay pretty quickly.
Right.
But if there's pretty solid proof there, and that's where it's like, it's kind of teetering on the line, but we need to, I think part of the reason why we keep seeing these things pop up is because a lot of people are just getting away with it.
Yeah.
I've got my retirement. So, just hang out over here in the corner in this back office, and then you can retire and you can move on with your life. That's not a punishment for taking advantage of vulnerable children.
Sure. Yeah. So that's going to be something.
That's something that I really would like to see policy change. But like I said, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
But big picture, there's a union involved. There's a whole history involved, and just need to look at all of the facts, all of the files
Yeah.
of all of everything. And I won't be able to be public about it, obviously. There's a big no-no there, but I just it's got to stop.
Yeah.
It's got to stop. My inbox is
Well, I mean, something you feel strongly about that needs to have a bit of change and at a policy level.
absolutely. We can complain about it all we want, but you can't be rewarded.
Sure. Shouldn't be.
You know,
Asian.
there's one that went all the way to the state for inappropriate communications with students after hours and got smacked on the back of the hand once, twice. Found his, I mean, this person does have the right to take it to the state.
Yeah.
And now, we're still sitting on paid administrative leave while the state investigates
Yeah.
what goes down. And it just got continued to June. So now we got another month of paid administrative leave. So, it's just
That's a big no for you.
there's got to be some confidence coming from the public when it comes to the safety of our children.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that needs to be addressed, I feel.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's certainly an immediate concern.
Yes. And like I said, the state took care of the other one, which was publishing our budgets.
Good.
So,
No, that is good.
not our budgets, our contracts.
Yeah.
That's huge.
They should. Okay. Now, what concerns do you feel are at the top of the list?
Let's back up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
another thing
Go
to say.
for it.
I have another town halls.
Town halls. Okay.
So one, like I mentioned before, there a lot of the parents, obviously they're my peers, they're reaching out to me and saying like, we come to you.
Yeah.
We come to you to know what's going on, like even what's on the budget, what's on the agenda, like whether or not I should tune in. And I think that town halls are very important. In fact, Marie Laughlin has been campaigning for town halls, and she and I talked about it. And I was like, maybe once per quarter. And she's like, no, Kyle, we got to do it once a month. And I was like, you think so? She's like, yeah, I absolutely think that a town hall is essential. And we have experienced it as we campaign, parents coming to us. And I think our community, after what we've been through for the last year, 2 years, that town halls are absolutely essential. I agree 100% with Marie on the once a month. And I do think that if we do town halls, we're going to see the decline in enrollment stall, because there's going to be that level of transparency that parents are craving right now. So that's one way I would like to combat the declining enrollment, is just being a person. And again, this House bill that passed actually allows us, the school board, to communicate directly with the public about everything going on.
Yeah.
Before, it was just pleasantries. Like, I would not be able to talk directly about what was going on. It was outside of the school board meetings. That's it. You couldn't talk about it, which is crazy.
That's wild.
But now, with this new House bill,
yeah,
it's my favorite.
More transparent.
Well, because so many people were like, if you get elected, you're not going to be able to do what you're doing. You're not going to be able to continue this, which was a concern for me, because I felt like I was doing more from outside the board. And once I got on the board, I'd just be looking at numbers and policy and all that other stuff, which I can make a big impact. But now with this bill that passed, there's going to be so much more transparency, and it's not going to be this like little secret community anymore. And I think that at the end of the day, it's going to help.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. I mean, for the sake of the children, for crying out loud, a monthly town hall doesn't seem like that big of an issue. I mean, people can choose to come to every single month. They can come once a quarter. I mean, they can go and see what's going on at the board level and ask questions and get that clarification, become more engaged in what the schools are doing, because that's where their kids are going.
Yep.
Right. I mean, why not? I mean, I know on the board side and the teacher side that they want to see as much engagement from the parents as possible. And this, I think, would help drive some of that.
Absolutely. I do think that their parents feel like they're hitting a wall. And then on the other side, I want there's a lot of the cry from teachers saying that like nobody's parenting at home anymore, and there needs to be a bridge. Like we need to have both of them. I think if parents are told they can be involved in the school, because right now they think they can't. They think only way I can be involved in the school is PTA. No, you can attend all these board meetings. You can speak at all these board meetings. But now if we have a town hall, we're going to have an open discussion and we want to hear it. Like we really do. I do. I mean, just walking around in public now, like I get stopped and they will chat with me or I get these messages and there's not much that I can really truly do right now other than listen to them.
Yeah.
And provide any feedback or any guidance if they need help navigating some muddy waters. But I think that just bring back the community, just bring back, and that's kind of why I like having a parent on the board.
Yeah.
It's no longer like these kings and queens sitting up there or like the royalty.
Right.
It will just bring community back together.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Make sure still recording. All right. Good. So and this will lead right into from the board side of things. What concerns do you feel are at the top of the list board level? And what concerns do you feel are at the top of the list for the teachers and the students? Do you see like differences there? I mean, would one have something they
I feel like all three need to be in their own compartment with obviously some connections. I think the board right now, it became very apparent in the last meeting. Dr. Barber reminded the board that they had voted to pass these tablets and readers on the bus. Well, you guys voted on these. You already voted. It's already passed. We've already spent the money. And they were all like, oh, we did?
Yeah.
So board level, I'm like, what are you guys just voting to vote because you got a little sales pitch from the superintendent, or are you actually truly looking at these documents? So that's what the next board really needs to focus on, big picture, because of the declining enrollment, and we've got a crunch right now.
Yeah.
And we're cutting art and music, which I've posted about in some schools. Some schools have already done it. They have STEAM. My kids are at GBE right now, and I will say, like, GBE is our music teachers. I'm gonna get emotional. She's freaking amazing. She's the only one that does concerts. Like, we're the only one that does shows. Like, she puts together, she does a kindergarten breakfast, not a dry eye in there. Yeah. It's the most adorable thing ever. It used to be Mother's Day tea, but now it's for everybody. Oh, oh my God. It's such a good experience. And then she does, basically a musical for all the primary years.
Yeah.
And then they can start band and chorus after that. And, she's winning everywhere she goes. Our art teacher is great. Like, I wanted to reach out to her the other day. She emailed me about my middle daughter and her artwork that she was sending home. Because above my sink, I have a shelf and it's everything they've made in art.
Yeah.
On top of that, I have my stuff from my childhood that my kids have gone through. They like to go through and compare. And they're like, are you going to keep our stuff for just that long? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like, this is my treasure. Like, I don't need a Mother's Day bouquet of flowers. I love what gets sent home from school.
Yeah.
So.
Is that really happening? Are they really going to start to phase out? Is it phase out or is it on?
Like, Oriole Beach Elementary School doesn't have art and music. They have STEAM. But I will say their STEAM is pretty awesome. Yeah. They've got 3D printers. They've got some really cool stuff. But why can't we have that as an additional? Why can't we have a lab? Like, if we have a vacant classroom, why can't we make a lab that they can pop into? Why don't we put some funds into that? That's where I would love to see money, because things are advancing.
Yeah.
I'd love to see money invested in that. Some parents are very pro, like, let's put some more technology in school. Whereas I'm hearing teachers like, we got to get rid of these iPads. Like, they're sitting in closets. They're broken. There's, there's any
replaced every few years.
No, they just get, they're outdated. They're outdated. But there's also a service contract that we're required to have with them. So it's just, there's just a lot going on with them. So I do hear teachers saying they want to scale back on the technology. Some parents saying we need more technology. But I think they're like, what do you mean by more technology? You want to see more whiteboards, more interactive stuff
Yeah.
for instructional time? Or do you actually want your kid playing elementary school level Minecraft? Like, what are we talking about
Right.
with technology? But
I'm all for STEM stuff. I myself, I deal with drones,
yes,
and I think that's a very interesting thing. Technology has its place. There's a lot of things the kids can learn,
yes,
but to get rid of
yeah,
the art and the music, I feel is a detriment to their learning.
yeah. My kids are artsy fartsy. We have every single one of them has a notebook
Yeah,
that they doodle in. That's how we wind down at night.
yeah.
They just pull out their books, they start drawing, or if they're in a bad mood, they go sit in their room and they draw. Like, I have drawers upon drawers of stuff that I just don't have the heart to get rid of. So there's so many studies proven that music improves math, that
Absolutely.
focus, all that. It just there's so much there that where it's needed, and it doesn't need to be lost
No,
art.
no.
But I think we could find some way to supplement and we have the Center for Innovation up here,
Right, the new one, yeah.
but you have to do a field trip. And at Gulf Breeze Elementary School, the only ones that have gone are ACEs.
Oh,
And I'm like, cool.
yeah.
I mean, it did open pretty much 3/4 of the way through the school year, so
Right.
I'm hoping to see a lot more field trips up there next year. I would like to see some of that in a classroom, or in a school,
Absolutely.
which no BE does have. They have 3D printers. They have what were they doing? They were doing the little kind of like what the Boy Scouts do with the cars to race.
Oh, yeah, the soapbox
Yeah.
cars, yeah.
They were doing some really cool stuff. So
Okay.
my son's very into physics lately, and he's 8.
Yeah, yeah,
But I'm like, I would love for you to have some more hands-on stuff
yeah,
in that kind of atmosphere like OBE has. But
yeah, yeah. Um, well, it is definitely a concern and something that I think a lot of if parents knew more about those decisions being made, that they would be a little more vocal about those
I
decisions.
think they said that like 30, they just posted this the other day, 30% of middle schooler and high schoolers are in band.
Yeah,
And I'm like, that's a big number.
yeah,
That's a really big number.
yeah.
And I live behind the high school, so I hear them practicing
Sure.
every single day.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I've known a lot of people who have gone through the band program, the music program, and just loved it. I mean, they built community
Ex-
when they were there. Had a lot of good friends. Um. Okay, so let's see here. So I know this is a longer interview, but that's okay. We got a lot of
I
good
told you I
information.
gap.
That's all right. We got a few more questions, and then we'll let you run.
Okay.
Um. Okay, so now I'll bring this one up because this one is actually it's being voted on tomorrow.
Flock camera.
Right. Well, they're not flock cameras. It
Oh,
turns out, they're a different company.
okay.
And the vote comes out tomorrow. Tomorrow, as of right now.
Today.
Yeah, yeah. From us sitting here, so this interview will actually be going out after the vote has gone through. But it looks like the county, with the support of the sheriff's department, the support of the Board of Education, they're going to install some cameras. They're going to be around the schools, specifically around the schools, and there may be others around the county, but they're just talking about these ones around the school. And from what we're to understand, the cameras are for speeding. They will not engage unless someone is driving upwards of 11 miles an hour over the speed limit,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're going to be timed with the school's set hours so that they'd only be active during those times. Um, and as far as that goes, I don't really I don't there's more information out there on these cameras, but in general, it's there to help the speeding, kind of tone that down around school zones.
Mm-hmm.
But these cameras are going around, I believe it's all schools in Santa Rosa County, all of
Not the
them,
city of Gulf Breeze, though.
not the city of Gulf Breeze.
No.
Okay, so with these cameras going in, eh, is this something that you feel is beneficial? Is it going to help and it's just from the perspective of someone who, I mean, I'm not the one who's running the cameras. The sheriff's going to be monitoring these, and there's the idea is a deputy will look at the pictures that are taken, identify the vehicle, and then send out the citation. And it's going to be a civil citation. So
I mean, personally, if you're speeding in a school zone, it shouldn't be a civil citation. You need to be, your butt needs to be in court, and you need to pay the big fines.
right,
Um, more patrolling. I'd rather see more patrolling in the school zones because I live in the city of Gulf Breeze, and that main thoroughfare that goes through, no one pays, so many people don't pay attention to it. Um, there, I didn't know that they weren't flock cameras. I don't know the company that they are planning on using, but I know that they are AI based, and there's just a lot. Are they going to be, how long are they going to be storing these images of your license plates? They're basically going to be monitoring our behaviors, because if you don't have a student at that school, you're still going to get scanned. You're still going to get recorded. And are they kind of opening the floodgates to get the community to be more tolerant of surveillance? From what I understand, a lot of these cameras, we can't do a FOIA request on them. So we're not going to be able to see, if we want to track anybody's movements, our own selves, we're not going to be able to do it.
right.
I have been told that these cameras, specifically Flock, so I don't know anything about the company they're.
It's a different
It's
company. I
another.
apologize for not.
Oh, it's
having
okay.
that now with me, but
I didn't look into it because I feel like they're gonna pass it. So it's gonna be,
it
it's
looks
gonna,
like they are. Yeah.
if you look at the city of Pensacola's like red light traffic cameras, there is a huge expense to them.
Yeah.
So the money that they actually make off of it is not too terribly high.
Really.
So what happens if everybody obeys? Then it winds up becoming a financial burden. What if we aren't issuing enough tickets?
Well, that's
and there's no money made off of it. On top of that, so I have a unique situation where I'm a Turo host. At any given time, I don't know how many cars I have right now, but as an example, in the last 2 or 3 months, I've received 4 red light tickets from the city of Pensacola, for my guests. I'm not driving the vehicle at the time, but it's coming to either the business's name or there are a couple cars that are like in personal names. So that ticket is, I am responsible for paying that and then getting the guest to reimburse me. You can fill out an affidavit and have that notarized and sent in, but when that happens, that guest is required to appear in court. So now now this person from the state of Washington has to appear in court over here in Escambia County, and they can dispute the ticket. And then so for me, I am a very unique situation. Not everybody does what I do.
Sure.
And in fact, one time, one of the vehicles was being driven by a friend,
Yeah.
and they got the red light ticket, and it got taken care of. It's not a big deal. But for me, I have seen it for people who have the flock cameras in bigger areas where it's like they're like 15 to 20 a month, and they're $165 a pop. Then they're having to front it and pray that they get reimbursed. So for me, professionally, that is a challenge.
Yeah.
And I do warn them. I'm like, hey, Pensacola, city of Gulf Breeze, you got red light cameras.
Yeah.
You run a red light, you're getting it. If it's a yellow, slow down and stop. And I tell that. I do tell that. But it's a surveillance state. It's another, I would have to look into the company. I'm okay with getting people to slow down. There's other ways.
Yeah, that's kind of the
There's other ways to do it.
Right.
But I mean, I'm down in Navarre. All of a sudden you're 45 miles an hour, and all of a sudden you have to drop down to 20 on 98.
Yeah.
And some people are like, why are we doing this? And they swerve around, all that stuff. I just think that there should be another way to do it first, to make that attempt. And like I said, I don't.
Well, they have some.
If everybody obeys.
Well, yeah, right. If everybody were to obey,
financial burden.
which sounds great, and in theory. I don't know if that'll ever actually happen, but in Gulf Breeze particularly, really all the schools, but the amount of tourists that come through right there on that road, they have no idea the schools there. Yeah, there's signs, but they may not be from here.
Yeah, they're definitely.
And so they'll cruise right through. And it is a tricky situation to try to resolve.
And are also relying on AI.
Yeah,
And
yeah, and that's kind of leaning into, hey, we need to use these. Well, we're using these pictures.
the margin of error on there.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
just.
don't know. It's an interesting thing. I wanted to bring it up because I know the vote is happening this week.
Yeah. I would rather not see. I'd rather them make an attempt in another way, like a serious attempt to slow them, because I don't see it happening, at least in the city of Gulf Breeze, and I don't see it when I drive down 98 through Navarre.
Yeah,
I don't see much police presence
yeah,
to combat it at all. Sometimes the lights aren't even turned on. From what I understand, they have to manually turn them on. So if the lights aren't flashing and you had one tiny little sign and you missed that tiny little sign because you're looking over your shoulder, changing lanes, you're out of town, and the lights aren't flashing, I feel like you shouldn't be getting a ticket.
Yeah.
Personally, I've not gotten a school zone ticket. My knock on wood, my driving, I'm sure people have looked at it. My driving record is perfect. So I just.
yeah. It's interesting.
And where is that money going to go?
That's a good question, and I
Is
apologize.
it going to be somewhere to stop on? Yeah, no, it's big picture. I'm going to dive into it.
Where is it gonna go?
Let's dive into it and let's
Yeah.
figure it out.
We'll have more information next time. Yeah,
For sure.
Well, like I said, it looks like they're gonna pass it. The feeling from the board, from the Board of Education, from the Sheriff's Department, that they are going to go ahead and push this through.
Yeah,
It's going to happen. It looks like, unless something major happens at the vote. But it looks like they're going to go ahead and do this. But I think it's then going to be up to all of us to kind of keep an eye on, okay, well, let's ensure that it's working the way it was intended as best we can, and keep an eye on it. And just kind of go from there, really, because like I said, I think it's going to get voted in.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Okay. Now and kind of leaning in that, we have a lot of people moving into Santa Rosa County. It's a growth thing. That we bring this up on the show pretty regular. We talk to everybody about, hey, there's a lot of growth. With that growth, the schools that we have, are they on track to handle this type of growth? Is this growth going to mandate that we build more schools, or are we going to have to start putting more portables on campuses? I remember growing up, there were portables at my schools. There's more people going to homeschools now, a big push in that direction as well. We're just seeing a lot of people coming in there, and hey, I get it. This is a nice area. I totally understand why. How do you feel handling that growth? Well, how would you approach that?
I mean, right now we have a brand new high school that's opening with essentially no new butts in the seat. So it's over $9,000 per butt in the seat for each school. But we built this new high school, over $100 million. There's a 0.5-cent sales tax that is going to be on the ballot in November. And some people are saying, no, we don't want this 0.5-cent sales tax anymore. So that 0.5-cent sales tax is actually going back into the schools where they can build these new schools. Now, Santa Rosa County has built 3 brand new schools in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And one of them being this high school. But you built a high school without the student body, without the population. We were not necessarily over capacity at Navarre or Gulf Breeze. Like, you look at the numbers, we weren't over 100%. But now you're taking students from Gulf Breeze High School and you're taking students from Navarre High School and you're putting them in there. So now we're losing funding from Gulf Breeze High School. We're making cuts there, and we're losing funding from Navarre, and we're putting them in this new one. So I don't, and on top of that, we have the declining enrollment. I would like to say that I am in full support of a parent's right to choose
Yeah.
for their children in any way, shape, or form, as long as they're doing it legally. Like they're following the rules and they're doing things the right way. And they're not trying to take advantage of a system. So I do think that the state kind of got ahead of themselves with these vouchers. I don't know if they were trying to set in, like, say, hey, Florida's got to step it up in education. So we're going to give in public education. So we're going to give parents another option. Without many checks and balances. And I'm sure you've seen the news where there have been people receiving funding, but their kid was in public school. But what they're not talking about is the other side, that the public schools were receiving funding and some homeschoolers are fighting for funds because they pulled them out well ahead of time. Oh, but the school already collected the funds, so you're not going to get them. Even though they weren't already, even though they pulled them out ahead of time. So there was like some back and forth to get reimbursed and delays. So that being said, I think that if that half-cent sales tax does pass again, that we need to not focus on building schools, maybe rehabbing the schools or adding on to them and adding some more classroom, some flex space. I know Central School's about to hit phase 2. And they're busting it. I feel like they're the only ones that I've heard that are just overwhelmed. Like straight down to the sewage.
Yeah.
Is overwhelmed with that school. So we don't have room in South Santa Rosa County.
Right.
The one spot that we really truly had, we're getting a new high school. I think that's great. There is a lot of new development going on there. But is that really going to be enough to fully fund and fully support that school, that operation?
No.
I would rather see, instead of another $100 million school, which that half-cent sales tax did not pay for the entirety of that school, let's be clear here.
Sure.
I think that we need to see some improvements made, some additions. Like if you go into some of the schools, OBE, GBE, the middle schools, they've been added on to, and I think that they really need to take a hard look at that.
Yeah.
A parent came to me one day and was like, you know what would have been really wonderful is if we took Gulf Breeze High School and moved that to Soundside High School.
Yeah.
And renovated Gulf Breeze High School. Then took Gulf Breeze Middle School and put them over at the high school.
Yep.
And renovated Gulf Breeze Middle, and then moved all the way down because, our schools were built in the early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And they are lacking infrastructure. I mean, the PTA had to pay for hotspots at Gulf Breeze Elementary School. So they really need an overhaul, these older schools. And there's ways that we could have taken advantage of this brand new facility without, like, there would be a little stress on taxpayers, but big picture, like, we wouldn't be taking, it's just, to me, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? There'd be some financial strain, but one of the biggest complaints from parents in these older schools is that they are older. Like, I have seen photos of roofs collapsing or like ceiling tiles falling out. I've talked to CBSA teachers that don't have appropriate accommodations. So this half-cent sales tax, like, there are things that we should be doing with it to support what we already have versus just building a new one and hoping that we have all these developers come in and give us some new students.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are people coming in, but I don't think it's enough to support like a ton of new schools.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, county's growing, and there's certainly things that need to be addressed.
And Navarre is crazy.
Yeah.
I've been driving over there pretty regularly. When I go over to Destin, obviously, like, I see all the stuff along 98, but like actually going back into Navarre and seeing all the new communities that are popping up. But they're actually zoned for Navarre High School. They're not zoned for Soundside High School. Right. So, are they going to redraw lines at some point to kind of get more butts in the seat over there? It's just South Santa Rosa. I mean, up here too.
There's a lot of communities. East Milton is growing. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Many, many more houses, developments, neighborhoods,
Mhm. It's overwhelming, but I would like to see improvements on
improvements on the existing.
the existing structures that we
Yeah.
already have,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
If we have to put kids in a trailer for a year
Yeah.
while we figure it out, so be it. Like, I did it in elementary or not in
I
middle
remember
school.
going in several portable buildings in elementary and middle school.
Yeah.
Here in Santa Rosa County. Years and years ago.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated high school in 02.
Oh, I'm 00.
There you go.
I'm the new millennium.
Okay, now let's see here. Let's give you one more question and then we'll let you run.
Okay.
Let's see. We're still recording. Very good. We have a few. I'll let you just we'll talk about them. Are there any are there any concerns of yours that many viewers, community members may not know about that you could speak to? Anything there? I mean, we've talked about a lot today. We certainly. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that would be a concern looking at our schools here in Santa Rosa County?
I really can't. Overall, I'm definitely I'm staying here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy with how things are, community wise, school wise.
We do have an A+ rating,
Yeah, we do.
so we don't have bad schools.
No,
I would
that
say.
we don't. I think that I don't want to go into too many details, but I do kind of post, like, when I talk about things, I'm not going to give everybody the answers. I do want parents to do the digging, to do the hard work, to do the legwork. I'll give as much ammo as I can. Like, we've talked about the surplus of funds in our food service contract.
Sure.
Why were we in such a hurry to spend that?
Yeah. Yeah.
People need to figure out why.
Yeah.
The school district needs to be transparent.
Yeah.
That's really it. I'm looking forward to July 1st when transparency becomes a bigger, like, even me as a candidate will be able to talk a little bit more about stuff that I'm finding,
Sure.
or that but people never just straight up come to me and they're like, "Hey, all this." They do make me do the work too, and if I feel it's important, I'll put it out there. But I think our teachers are hustling. I will say that I did receive a message that said, "I don't know how much longer this is sustainable for me. I'm stretched thin. I'm tutoring. I'm hustling." I've heard teachers working second jobs, picking up hours. And I think parents really, big picture nationwide is that there is definitely a disconnect between parents and teachers, and that teachers are expected to basically raise their children, not teach their children. And it's the millennials that were raised by boomers that are just kind of like trying to heal trauma and childhood wounds through their own children, but kind of failing at the same time.
Yeah.
So I do feel like there's going to be a rise in that, and just kind of like teachers speaking up and being like, "Hey,
We spend
it is not my job.
6 hours, 8 hours a day with
I'm here to
your
educate, I'm not
kids."
here to raise your kid."
Right.
But no, I don't really think that there's much to talk about. Like I said, it's just these little things that just keep coming up, and I want parents to start paying more attention.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we got an A+ school
Mhm.
rating here in Santa Rosa County.
Yep.
It is a beautiful area. There's more people coming in. We've got a vote coming up this year. So we're going to see. And how many seats are
3.
going to get? So 3 seats
There
are
are
up.
3 seats, yeah.
Okay. And
All the odd districts. So 1, 3, and 5.
1, 3, and 5.
Mhm.
Okay. And we're going to see some changes.
And
for
voters need to know that they can vote for the entirety of the school board. So they can vote for all. So if you live in District 1,
Mm,
you can vote for District 3 and District 5 as well. So
okay.
a lot of people, when I switched to 3, they're like, "Oh, it's a bummer. I was going to vote for you in 5." I'm like, "Oh, no, you can still vote for me." They're like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can. You can still, but please still vote for me.
Yeah.
You're voting. Don't forget, you're voting for the entire county." So,
So remember that, folks. But you can vote
yeah.
for anyone in the county on the school board election coming up. Good. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people would actually like to know that they can do that.
Yes, a lot of people don't realize it. I'm always in comments like, "Hey, you can still vote
Yeah.
for all. We're all going to be on the ballot." So,
Good.
and I think that applies to commissioner as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's one I need to pay attention to.
Yeah, we have we had a candidate come in recently. We have some more that'll be coming in. On District 2 is going to be one for sure. A lot of people are watching. I
Yeah.
think there's almost upwards of seven or 8 candidates that are in that one, and so that one is a lot of people are watching that.
There's been a lot of, I will say, I've talked to almost all of them directly,
Mhm.
phone or in messages. And I think there's just one that I haven't talked to. Two that I haven't. And I don't know. Like people connected with them, not them directly.
Right.
But one of them I had a phone call with. And then I've talked to family, spouses, whatever. And I'm like, is this like prom king and queen over here? Like, what is going on, y'all? Like, thankfully, it has not trickled into the school board race. Like, I think everybody's been pretty good. Like, you want to dig into my social life? Go for it.
Sure.
Have fun. It's all I put what I want on social media. You're not seeing the big picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I told you earlier, before we were on camera, sometimes I throw some curveballs and I do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But thankfully, the school board has been pretty chill. And,
Pretty tame.
things that happen in people's personal lives are their personal lives. Just as long as professionally you are a good person, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, it means a lot. It really does. Okay. Well, look, you know what? We've covered a lot today.
yes,
So we'll go ahead and we'll end it here today. Kyle, thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. We'll get together again when we get closer to the vote.
Mhm.
But everybody remember, those of you voting in Santa Rosa County, you can vote for Kyle.
Everybody.
Everybody. You
Vote
can
for
vote
me,
for
of
everybody,
course.
right? And so if you do have questions, feel free to reach out.
I would like to add that I am an open book.
Yeah.
You can reach out to me. You can directly comment on my Facebook page. You can direct message me on my personal page. It will likely go to spam and I won't see it. I try to check it every once in a while, but also I'm an approachable person.
Yeah.
If you see me out and about and you want to talk to me, talk to me. The only thing I ask is if I'm with my children, we make it short. Because my son is 8 years old and he does not quite understand big picture. He thinks I'm running for president.
Sure.
He also thinks I'm famous. Because he's like, how does everybody know you,
That
Mom?
makes sense. Yeah.
And he thinks it's through social. He thinks it's because I have the big following, not because of campaign. He doesn't understand.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I try to explain it to him, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it. But my girls are just like, oh my God, they're talking again. But I'm totally approachable. And honestly, it's a lesson for my children too. It's a cool experience for them. But that's all.
Yeah.
But yeah, come talk to me.
Come talk to her.
Come talk to me.
Come talk to her. So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it here at the Blackwater Report. And until next time, take care.